All month long, we've been battling our Browns Report channel in a sub battle to see who could end up with the most subs between the AFC North rivals. And it is coming down to the wire. A photo finish between Ravens Rundown and the Browns Report. They're at 69 subscribers. We're at 67. We want to show them who's boss. We want to finish strong and win this month-long sub battle. Subscribe now for the latest happenings in your favorite team, daily news and rumors. Talking trades, free agency, draft, and more. Subscribe now. Let's beat the Browns Report, and we'll get started with today's show. Glad to have you with us here on Ravens Rundown. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for stopping by. As we found out some news within the last couple of days that is very intriguing, not just for the whole NFL, but specifically the Baltimore Ravens. The NFL salary cap number for 2024 will be $255.4 million. A huge jump from what it was a season ago, a $30 million increase. There's a couple factors of why there was such a big jump in the salary cap. One of those was the new television deal with all the networks and the teams getting the rewards of said television deals. But also, if you recall back the COVID year when the salary cap went down, well, now teams are getting the flexibility for that money lost of that COVID year when the cap went down. So those two things made it certainly fascinating to see this big jump up. Now, the cap was expected to go up to 242.5, and so this surpassed expectations by a lot. You're looking at about a $13 million difference. The Ravens' cap space now is close to $17 million, so they have a whole lot more flexibility than they originally anticipated. And they're going to need it because the Ravens have 27 unrestricted and street free agents from the Ravens 2023 roster. So, with that said, I'd argue that there isn't a team that benefits more from the cap jumping up than the Baltimore Ravens do, because this Ravens team, just with all those free agents, you weren't going to be able to keep everybody. And now just having a little bit more extra cash could be the difference in a player or two or three of trying to get this team back to the AFC Championship game and ultimately getting to the Super Bowl. The notable free agents for the Baltimore Ravens, the one that they have to take care of first, Justin Madubuike, is the one that obviously starts out things. Patrick Queen at the linebacker position is also another, as is Geno Stone at the safety spot, Jadeveon Clowney at edge rusher. Kyle Van Noy is also on the list as well. He joined this team late September of this past season, did a really good job. Big Kevin Zeitler at the offensive guard spot, as well as John Simpson at an offensive guard spot, and then Arthur Maulet at the cornerback position. He's one of a number of corners listed among the notable free agents that also include Ronald Darby, as well as Rock Ya-Sin and Kevon Seymour. Now, you're not going to try to keep all of these guys, but at least you have options of what to work with here. So, now, we want to ask you guys, who is a player the Ravens should re-sign? We've gone through the full list of the notable free agents. Who comes to mind that you want to see back in a Baltimore Ravens uniform in 2024? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. You choose two or more players in any given category. Get the choice of more or less. Maybe it's the MLB. You're choosing strikeouts or hits. Maybe it's the NBA, you're choosing rebounds or points. You can mix and match different leagues as well, from the NBA, MLB, NASCAR, golf, a number of different things to choose from. And I'm looking ahead to the start of the baseball season on Prize Picks. I got my Rodriguez special, Grayson Rodriguez, to have more than 180.5 strikeouts, and Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners to have more than 168.5 hits. If both those hit, we put $20 down. We're making $100 on Prize Picks. Play along with me. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS for a $100 deposit match. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Now, as the Ravens go through this offseason, I expect EDC to take a disciplined financial approach, that you're not going to see this team backload money and pay later, as so many teams around the league do, because what we see for the most part when teams do that, that does way more bad than good. Look at the New Orleans Saints right now. They're in salary cap hell because of how much they backloaded contracts. The blueprint for this offseason, three-step plan that I'm looking for the Baltimore Ravens. Number one is retain Justin Madubuike. I expect Madubuike to get the franchise tag, and I think that it's going to be for him. You're looking at the franchise tag price is about $22.1 million. So it's not cheap, but you're a couple of moves away. Now that the Ravens got more money to spend with the cap going way up more than anticipated, you're just 3 moves away from being able to have that money to tag Madubuike. I mean, there's 3 guys in particular you could restructure or cut and would open up that money. Morgan Moses, you could save $5.5 million. Tyus Bowser, you could save $5.5 million. And then Patrick Ricard, you could save $4 million. All of a sudden, you do all 3 of those moves, you got the money to pay Madubuike. Madubuike coming off a fantastic season this past year with a career-high 13 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 12 tackles for loss. The year prior, 5.5 sacks with 42 tackles and 8 tackles for loss. This is a guy that's just starting to come into his own, and I would take him over Patrick Queen, given the choice every single day. Should the Ravens franchise tag Justin Madubuike? What do you guys think? White for yes, in for no. I think it's a no-brainer call for me, especially considering that it's very easy to get done. What do you guys think? Let me know. Number 2, I would re-sign Jadeveon Clowney or Kyle Van Noy. One of the 2, if not both of them, I would bring back. You got them both cheap this past year, and they were both very productive. You look at what Clowney did. 9.5 sacks in 17 games played. A big resurgent year for him after the Browns basically left him for dead the year prior in 2022. Kind of just, phased him out of their defense. And the projection for Clowney is about a 1-year, $7.26 million deal. If he can get me 9 sacks, I can pay him $7 million. That is very doable. Meanwhile, Kyle Van Noy, you look at what he did this past year. He had 9 sacks as well with 2 forced fumbles, 30 tackles. He's been great. And, the flexibility, the multiple different things he can do, you're looking at for him playing for about $1.4 million is all. So, to me, that's an easy call. Either one of these guys, if I go Clowney or if I go Van Noy, cheap options that make a huge difference for my defense here, and veteran experience and all that. To me, it's a no-brainer with both these guys. In a perfect world, you'd love to be able to re-sign both of them and pay them that cheap money. But given the choice, if I have to choose one or the other, I'm taking Van Noy for his cheap contract. But I'd like to have both of them, quite frankly, if it were up to me as far as that goes. So the money there, you're looking at 7.26 for Clowney and 1.4 for Van Noy. To me, that's just a win for either one of those guys, if that's the case. So let's ask you guys now. Pick one to re-sign. Would you rather go Clowney or Van Noy? Type C for Jadeveon Clowney. Type V for Kyle Van Noy. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Last on our offseason blueprint, adding an offensive skill position player. I think that we loved what we saw from the Ravens offense for the most part this year. But you looked at that playoff game against the Kansas City Chiefs. They were missing a little something. They needed a little extra juice, needed one more guy to kind of put them over the top. And I think if you're the Baltimore Ravens, whether it's getting a primetime running back, like all these rumors we've talked about that say that they are zeroing in on getting a big-name running back, or whether it's getting another receiver to the fold, I think you'd like to make a splash. With what you're going to lose on defense, you can make up for potentially on offense. Some notable skill position players who I think the Ravens are going to have their eye on. Running back, it's the 3 biggest names. Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley. I think we're going to see the Ravens have interest in all three of those guys. Then at the receiver spot, Tyler Boyd with the Cincinnati Bengals. He could be a fascinating get. Cordell Patterson could be a possibility. He can play running back or receiver, either one. I think that you're more likely to get a big-time player at the running back spot. You're not going to be able to spend a ton on receiver, but you could still get a notable name like Boyd or Patterson potentially. Who's a player the Ravens should sign? Give me a name that comes to mind and let us know in the comments section who your guy is you'd like to see in Baltimore. Thanks for joining us here on the program today. Subscribe now for Ravens coverage all offseason long. We'll see you next time.